Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel. Welcome to the Paizo preview for June 2023. So, this month, a little bit quieter on the Paizo Inc. front. We do have 3 releases for the Pathfinder role playing game. One of them is a big release. It is the eagerly anticipated Lost Omens Highhelm. And because we only had 3 releases this month, I'm going to take a bit of a deeper dive into Highhelm, give you a much closer look than I normally would in one of our Paizo preview videos. All right, so enough said. Let's jump on in because first off, I'm going to take a peek at the Pathfinder Flip-Mat Darklands Dangers Multipack. This is going to carry an MSRP of $26.99, or you'll be able to grab just the PDF alone for $9.99. We'll swing on over to the other camera because here I've got the Flip-Mat Multipack. So well, you know what? Let's take the shrink wrap off first, and then we'll take a peek at the back. I believe there are 2 mats in here. Dangers in the Dark. The notorious subterranean Darklands hold as many dangers as they do treasures. Pathfinder Flip-Mat Darklands Dangers Multipack, say that 5 times fast, provides ready-to-use caverns and tunnels for the busy game master. Whether heroes are exploring an underground monster's den, caves riddled with strange fungi, flooded passageways, or sprawling lava tubes, these deadly depths have you covered with 4 different combat maps in all. With Pathfinder Flip-Mat Darklands Dangers Multipack, you'll be ready next time your players delve into the darkness. And these are 24 inches by 30 inches. And of course, they are treated so that you can use a variety of different kinds of markers on them and still just wipe that off. All right, so I'm going to open up the first one here. Looks like we've got some lava flow. So we're looking at it's 3 panels by 3 panels. So here we've got, as I mentioned before, it looks like we've got a bit of lava. It looks like almost like natural stairs on that side as well. I say it every time we take a look at these, but if you are into skirmish level miniatures, these work perfectly well for those because of the squares and everything. Really work nicely if you are into miniature battles. So here it looks like we've got an underground river and some fungi. Are they poisonous mushrooms? I don't know. Right. So this is the first of the mats. Let's take a look at the second. So this looks like we also have some underground fungi. In fact, it looks like this other side has a bunch of mushrooms on it. So it looks like we've got a bit of looks like a bridge made from logs. Very cool. All right, let's take a peek at this other side. As I mentioned, looks like a lot of mushrooms and such on this side here. So we've got a little, almost like natural stair coming down right off the side there. All right. So we've got the 2 flip mats in the multi-pack. Once again, it's carrying an MSRP of $26.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $9.99. Moving right along, we have the conclusion to the Stolen Fate Adventure Path. That's right. It is Pathfinder Adventure Path 192. Holy cow, 192 adventures? Wow. Or I should say adventure chapters. This is the worst of all possible worlds. This is chapter 3 of 3 for the Stolen Fate Adventure Path. It's written by Luis Loza, and this softcover carries an MSRP of $26.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $19.99. And I am going to open this up and pull that on out. So here we have it. Like that. Pretty cool art there. Looks like it's a fortune teller. The hero deck, which is supposed to be utilized with this adventure path, there was a delay. I know it was supposed to be out a couple of months ago. I believe it should be in stores in August. I think that was the last thing I had heard. So, do want to point out that Sammy Uhas is reviewing the Stolen Fate Adventure Path. She's been tied up a little bit with work and such, but I will have her first review of the Choosing, which is the first chapter of Stolen Fate. That will be up on thegaminggang.com tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. So face your final fate. The defenders of destiny have traveled all over Galarian and to the far reaches of reality itself in search of the elusive cards from the deck of destiny, and now possess the majority of the once scattered magical hero deck. Yet unforeseen complications lie in wait. For the gathering the final cards will be no simple matter. The Stolen Fate Adventure Path concludes with Worst of All Possible Worlds, a complete adventure for 18th to 20th level characters. Wow, those player characters leveled up pretty quickly. Although this did not start off with the player characters at first level. If I remember correctly, they're around 10th or 11th level to begin the choosing. So before we jump on in, do want to point out this is an adventure. So if you are a player hoping that your game master is going to be running Stolen Fate, or maybe they're already in the midst of running Stolen Fate, definitely recommend skipping ahead in this video to take a look at Highhelm, because Highhelm is player facing, obviously enough, being an adventure, even though I know nothing about this chapter. We're probably going to see some spoilers as I flip on through. Also, keep in mind, we're not going to look at each and every page, but I want to get a good feel for what we've got inside Stolen Fate, worst of all possible worlds. So it looks like we've got a bit of a hex crawl here for the hero chords. Do have a few different artists that are involved. Give them a bit of credit here. I'm not going to try to pronounce their names because I would butcher them up pretty badly. So, also should mention that there's some additional writing here from James Jacobs and Jason Tondro. I'll take a guess, probably having to do with the toolbox. That's usually where we see the additional authors come into play. So, we've got All is Lost. The hero holds mysterious power running back to the days before Earthfall. The earliest hero cards weren't intended for divination or games, but instead served as a means of chronicling history. Well, so we get our chapter 1 synopsis. So we will have 3 chapters in this finale. And then it looks like we'll have some information if you want to continue the adventuring beyond this campaign. And then, of course, our adventure toolbox. So just flipping through to get kind of a peek here. The peacock. Boy, that's a pretty sorry looking peacock. So it says the peacock opens its plumage in an attempt to drain the color and mobility from others. Geez, thanks a lot. Creatures within 30 feet of the peacock must attempt a DC 36 will save. Well, you figure they are level 18 right now. So A DC 36 isn't too bad. On a failure, creatures become slowed for 1 round, slowed for 2 on a critical failure, as color drains from their bodies, and they endure the sensation of being slowly petrified. It's like a chicken, an ugly chicken masquerading as a peacock. I always like the Pathfinder artwork and the Starfinder artwork too, for the most part. We've got the cricket. Yeah, but his name isn't Jiminy, I see. Mighty Bull Guy. The Queen Mother. Jeez. Sipping a glass of wine. There you go. I guess she must not have gotten the health information. Probably not drinking alcohol while pregnant. Then again, she'd always be pregnant. Kicking out larvae, it looks like. We have the dance, the fool. There's somebody inside there. You can see their face poking out. So it is a costume. Interesting. I'll be very honest. I have not actually delved into Stolen Fate because Sammy had asked if she could tackle this adventure path because I actually reviewed the 3 chapters of the previous adventure path. And Sammy does our Starfinder reviews for the most part as well. I should also mention we are always looking for role-playing game reviewers at the Gaming Gang. And if you're a fan of Pathfinder and or Starfinder and you don't mind PDFs, reach out to me because I could certainly use an additional reviewer for our Paizo Inc. coverage. Right. So then we're into this is the Beyond the Campaign. So giving you some ideas if you'd like to continue the adventure beyond this finale. Then we've got our adventure toolbox. So it looks like we've got some new items. Looks like we've got a few of those. Oh, actually, quite a few pages of new items. And then we've got our bestiary. Yep, right here. So we've got some new demons. That's pretty wild. The Harrowkin. That's kind of creepy. Doesn't have a head. It's got a floating symbol like it's what's on the shield. The Harrowing 3. This be our big bads, or at least major NPCs. And then Raven Nicoletta. That must be our big bad for this chapter. Who was on the cover? She looked a little more attractive on the cover. She looks kind of irritated here. She's the thief of fate. This looks like this might be an ally. Zalara Esmeralda. Could be. I would assume so because she is chaotic good. All right. And then a little info about Dark Archive. And next month, we have a brand new adventure path that's kicking off. And I think it is Dwarven related, which kind of will lead into the other release that I'm going to be taking a peek at. And that is Pathfinder Lost Omens Highhelm, which is written by Dan Cassone, Karen DeMarco, Dana Ebert, Sen HHS. Okay. Don't know exactly what that's supposed to mean. Michelle Jones, Stephanie Lundeen, Leanne Merciel, Matt Morris, Dave Nelson, Nathan Renicky, Mikhail Rikun, Aaron Roberts, Owen Casey Stevens, Andrew White, and Shan Wolf. The 136-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $44.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $29.99. And we will swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Highhelm. I know there are a lot of people who are very, very interested in this latest volume for Lost Omens because it is focused on the dwarves. So very cool. And a dwarven stronghold, which is Highhelm. Let's take a look at the back here. Delve the mountain deep. When the first dwarves reached the surface of Golarion, they constructed enormous keeps to serve as their new home. The mightiest of these keeps was Highhelm, a sky citadel built deep within the Five Kings Mountains. While other sky citadels have fallen since those ancient days, Highhelm holds strong, serving as one of the major centers of dwarven culture. Delve into the Emperor's Peak to experience Highhelm in all its glory. Learn about everyday life in the city, dwarven culture, and the various clans who influence the Sky Citadel. Explore the city's layers and surroundings, each featuring mysterious locations and sites of intrigue suitable for a multitude of adventures. Brave heroes and canny adventurers can even visit Highhelm for animal companions, martial training, new equipment, and more. What secrets will you find in the depths of Highhelm? All right, let's jump on in. Should mention the fine folks over at Paizo Inc. were kind enough to send me these three releases for review, but please keep in mind, neither I nor anyone else affiliated with Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to bring this coverage to you. And these days, it's important to know that. So let's jump on in. So I apologize. I probably butchered some of the authors' names. So, okay. So we also have quite a few artists here as well. So we've got a breakdown of three chapters. So we've got an introduction, we've got a gazetteer, and then we have Highhelm options. Now, keeping in mind, this is not just Game Master facing. So it's a Lost Omens book. And I know sometimes the Lost Omens books focus heavier on lore than they do for like gameable material, as I like to say. But I think that might be a little different with this. So let's see what we've got. Once again, we are not going to look at each and every page, but we will take a peek because I'm very curious about this as well. So we've got A King's Wish. Recently unsealed after lying hidden for centuries beneath the sky citadel of Duncanhold, a library yielded the following letter penned by the dwarven leader Targic, who championed and completed the quest for Sky. This letter remains unreleased to the public and stored in an unmarked vault within the Sky Citadel, as per an agreement between High King Borgrim the Hale of Highhelm and High King Anang Haranuk of Dunganhold. So we get some discussion of how to use this book. It says the Sky Citadels mark the height of dwarven architecture and engineering. Built at the end of the centuries long quest for Sky, these massive fortresses provided far more than just safety, encompassing entire cities and fostering dwarven integrity. They were also symbols of determination and hope for dwarves, a monument to the accomplishment of an entire people who persevered through immense difficulty and doubt, though they also created some of their own problems as they drove orcs before them and unknowingly released Darklands horrors beneath them. Though the fortunes of the dwarves have proven less reliable, these bastions yet stand, and several continue to thrive. So it looks like we're going to get some information about the folks who live there. So we're going to get an overview. It's kind of cool that side view there. So we get the geography, talking about the culture, some history here. We've got a timeline as well. Government, law, and crime. Nice artwork so far. I like that. It's pretty cool. Reading a decree. Taxes, guilds and unions, markets, traditions. Looks like we've got some culture, probably some customs as well. Now we get into the clans. For some reason, I thought there were a dozen clans. I'm not positive though. So we have the Gold Hilt. You can be clanless. You can be a clanless dwarf. Right here, it's discussing that. So let's see, how many do we have? So there are 4. Clan Break Iron, Clan Fire Cask, Clan Iron Fist, Clan Grimmark. Okay, so that's 8. Well, here's 12. Clan Runebinder, Stone Fist. So is it 12? Yes, there you go. It's like I thought. I thought there were a dozen clans included in Highhelm. And it looks like we've got the leaders or important figures for the clans. And then we've got our gazetteer. So this is going to discuss the city itself, the fortress, as well as the city. I believe there's a city within. So we have King's Crown is the highest layer of the Highhelm, as well as the largest by population. It is also highest in the metaphorical sense, serving as the home of the upper levels of dwarven society. The very pinnacle of the mountain city are the High King, the Gold Hilt clans, and the wealthiest merchants. Well, well, well. That looks pretty interesting there. Then we've got some important locations. So we've got King's Crown. What do we have next up? Oh, some options. Okay, cool. So we've got, looks like we've got a new background. We've got new items. Okay, so each of these locales are going to maybe give us a few pages of new options there. Then we have King's Heart. During the construction of Highhelm, excavators discovered a marvel nestled squarely in the center of Emperor's Peak, a massive cavern, its walls teeming with luminescent crystals of all sizes and colors. Its existence was an enigma, the stone walls too smooth to be wholly natural, and yet with no connection to the surface. It was named the gift of the Father, as it could only have been made by the hands of Torag himself, and became the site of Highhelm's largest and most prominent temple. When the first homes were built in Highhelm, they were constructed here, since many dwarves believed the blessed cave would offer them protection and fortune. Over time, the cave's walls were expanded, widening walls on either side to form the middle layer of Highhelm, King's Heart. Aha! So once again, locations in King's Heart. And then we've got some other options, as well as we've got another background for a union representative, some new skill feats, spells. Well, that's kind of cool. So rather than just new items, we got some new feats. I got a new spell. The nightlife of the heart. For how loud it is during the day, the nights in King's Heart are surprisingly calm and quiet. That by no means suggests that everyone goes home for a quiet night in. It's kind of funny. Then we have Stone Breach. Stone Breach, the district that runs throughout the bottom layer of Highhelm, is a place of contradictions. Named for the only entrance to Highhelm by road, it is both cosmopolitan and insular, a place where the diligent farmers and cleaners that labor in the backdrop of Highhelm live side by side with enterprising merchants and traders from distant lands. Breachers, as most locals call themselves, take pride in this, seeing Stone Breach as an essential crossroads between the surface and the rest of Highhelm, a place where residents are a bit more open and less traditional than in the rest of the city, and where personal passions are as important as the work done for city and clan. Nice. So then each of these locales, we get a map. Of course, I flipped past the ones for the other two locations, the Crown and the Heart, or I should say King's Crown and King's Heart. And then we've got our locales again. Got some interesting little sidebars too, I've noticed. Talking the talk. I know my mug is blocking that out. Says, like many places, Stonebreach has a lingo all its own. And that gives us some common phrases uh, on this side as well. It's the Cracked Anvil Brewery. Yeah, that's where I'd be hanging. So then we have the depths. The further you venture from the core of Highhelm, the more that the rules and structure enforced in the city proper fall away. Some parts of the depths have enough of an official presence to be relatively safe for tourists, celebrities, and members of the higher castes who wish to indulge in the area's unique culture. Other areas are entirely outside the reach of law enforcement. Unwary visitors who come in expecting to follow the codes that prevail throughout the rest of the city are likely to make a dangerous misstep. The more fortunate come back with lighter coin purses and newfound humility. Others suffer serious losses or injuries, or maybe they don't come back at all. So we get a little bit about the people, current events. Then we go into these locations, get some options. No, we didn't get any options for there. Then we have the Five Kings Mountain, which I believe this is the mountain where High Helm is located. So that's considered a location as well. Okay, gotta be honest. Not too keen on that artwork there. It looks facially, even though it's not, it just at first glance, it looks very like it's digitized, but it's not. I mean, I'm sure it's, you know, created digitally, but so here we have the High Helm options. This is our final chapter. So we have new dwarven options. Oh, here we go. Some non-dwarf options. We can have dwarven campaigns, which, as I previously mentioned, I do believe the next adventure path, which should be kicking off in July, or maybe it's August, because I'm not sure how big a month July is going to be for Paizo, because of course, early August is Gen Con, which is huge for Paizo Inc. But I do know that the next adventure path is going to focus on dwarves. So this book is probably going to come in very handy, as well as these various different feats. So we have new gear here. Got a Are these deities? I think so. Okay, so we've got some legendary items. Yep, these are deities. So we've got some new dwarven deities here. And then we're gonna have a bestiary to wrap up, is my guess. There we go. Some animals. The draft lizard. Stout reptiles with scales and a checkered gold and white pattern. Draft lizards sport powerful jaws and even stronger backs, capable of hauling loads 4 times their own weight. Native to the underground tunnels of the Five Kings Mountains, the reptiles have been domesticated to serve as beasts of burden within the depths and sprawling web of passages beyond. Zoologists theorize that they are part of the same reptile family as Zertigakis. sorry, I haven't been memorizing the Bestiary Volume 1. That's where it looks like it comes from. Ooh, the Bloodstorm, the Grand Defender, a couple more. The Gruul and the Pagolin. Pagolin. It's like another lizard, a reptile. We're going to wrap up with a glossary and index, our open game license, and our previous release for Lost Omens, the travel guide. All right. So that is a bit more of a detailed look than we usually take on the Paizo preview for the month. Once again, we only had 3 releases, so why not dive in and get a better look at Highhelm, which is arriving amazingly enough tomorrow. Yes, I apologize. I had picked up some new components for the computer that I shoot video down here in the Duct Tape Studios with and stream the live shows. They have not played nice, so I've had to continually mess around with stuff. But it looks like at least the video quality and everything should be pretty nice. Should be pretty good. All right. So once again, those are the 3 Pathfinder releases from Paizo Inc. this month. They are arriving in stores and in PDF tomorrow. And of course, I will be back next month with a look at the Paizo Inc. releases for July 2023. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when I upload videos, such as this month's Paizo preview, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you will not find here on the YouTube channel, such as Sammy's Pathfinder and Starfinder reviews. They're written reviews, so they're not here on YouTube. All right, thank you very much for joining me this month. And until I see you next time, here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.
Oh, hey, you're still here. That's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.